Yo, how's it going on? Why is it so bright today? Leroy Jenkins. What's up? How's everyone doing? How's everyone's Sunday? I think some of you guys are done with your Sunday. How's your Sunday been so far? Since I'm just getting started with mine. Hoodie looking sexy AF. Thank you. Joys of it being cold now. I can wear my hoodies. My H1 hoodies. Hold on one sec. So my new desk that I bought is super thin, like it's about this thick, and this arm like barely could sit on it. I have not seen. Well, there's only two new episodes, right? What's happening? Oh, thank you for the host, Skybreach. Greetings from Germany. How's it going, Germany? Is it cold there yet? Most unproductive Sunday? What'd you do? Hey, Javi Blankback. Is that how you say your name? I hope that's how you say your name. Hey, I'm doing good. How about yourself? What's up, Bry? You did nothing. That sounds like a good Sunday, Ash. I don't know why you're complaining. That sounds like a great Sunday to not do anything, you know? Belgium, what's up? How's it going? How's it going? Hold on one sec. Let's do one of these. Oh, shoot. There we go. All right. Let me do it this way. Time for Pentester Labs. Only a few days left. Dang. I have to start mine. I haven't used Pentester Lab in a few. I want to say in a while. It's been a while. Enumerating Starbucks subdomains currently. Using search and destroy DNS generous DNS thing. Oh, nice. From yesterday? That's awesome. I don't have my Rick and Morty mug. I don't know where it's at. I'm back to the vintage Batman. So. Flemish, I think if you watch my streams, that's all I've been doing since July. Bitcode, what up? Is Bitcode not a VIP? How is that a thing? How do you not have a VIP badge, Bitcode? And more importantly, what are my awesome mods? I think X is probably just watching this and not saying anything, knowing him. And security is probably a few minutes behind. I have a few other mods. I don't know where they're ever at. Nemesis is a mod. I haven't seen Nemesis on here in a while, though. Hold on. Let me add Bitcode to a VIP. Because I'm mind blown that you don't have a VIP badge. Especially after designing all my badges and stuff. There we go. Ash, I think you are a VIP, right? Because you've earned your VIP with all your ideas. So, anyone see what Ash posted yesterday? Not yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday. Did anyone see what Ash sent me about the Sunday shows? So he asked me about having somebody that's newer in the industry, maybe someone from the stream, sitting in on my my interviews on Sundays and asking questions from not newbie, but a newer perspective. Oh, what's up, Rittenhouse? Yeah, so Ash is asking if what do I think about it. I think it's good. I just don't know. Is that valuable to you, Ash? Like, if you were to sit on one of my interviews, would that be valuable to you? Genuinely curious. I genuinely want to hear what you guys think. Like, what I was thinking was maybe make some of my co-hosts for that day and give them a couple of questions. And yeah, I just gotta figure out logistic wise if it works and whatnot. And the biggest part is like, how do I pick who comes on the show? Because I don't know who's got what experience. Oh, I forgot to tweet that I'm streaming today. Whoops. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. All right. Well, it's cool that everybody showed up without me even tweeting about this. I'm live right now and about to start hacking on the paranoids. Bug bounty program. What was that notification? I missed it entirely. Can anyone tell me what that was? Was that a follow or a host? I don't have logs. Hey, Grimy, how's it going? Picking will definitely be tough part and making sure they know the rules on Twitch. Yeah, so I don't know. I might have a rotation of 4 people that I bring on. Thank you for the follow, Gary. Yeah, let me think about it a little bit. Maybe I could do it based on my Discord channel, like whoever is most active, whoever's asking the best questions. I don't know. I gotta talk to the crew and see what they think too, because I'm gonna need some moderation and stuff like that. But it's a neat idea. Maybe it makes sense to bring on a guest when I bring someone super vetted, like when I had Franz Rosen or Tommy, or not that everyone isn't vetted, but I mean some of these guys that I'm bringing on are super new themselves. They just did it a lot quicker than most of us did, right? So finding that right balance is gonna be the hardest part. I don't know. What do I know? We'll figure it out. Let's see. Oh, nice. Patrick wants to do mobile. That's really cool. Wow, so Patrick is for real about this. Let's show it off. Hold on. You guys ready to see something really, really cool? Hold on. What the fuck? It froze. It's pretty neat. Dick making fun of me. Can you do me a favor and let's give him some love and tell him I sent you guys. Go subscribe now. Pretty good. Yeah, but I bring Relic. What am I gonna ask him about bug bounties, right? I'm a bug bounty. This is a bug bounty thing, right? Like, I don't know. I have another project coming out. My co-host is not around right now, but we have a project coming out. My co-host is going to be. Thank you for the subs, Sean. I appreciate it. My co-host will be on this show at some point, and we'll make an announcement. But I think some people were watching I think like X knows because he was watching it when we were talking about it, watching this person's stream. So there's gonna be something coming out that's better than the. Yeah, we'll talk about it later. I don't want to announce it without my co-host around because it's a pretty neat project, I think. What was the question? Well, how did I? It's just in your profile settings. You can change it. If you go to settings, it brings this up. You can set your default profile to be or SSH. So mine is right here. This one. No. One of these right here. I set that to default. And I hid everything else. So I don't have, it only has Ubuntu. So I hid everything else when it says, something about being visible, hidden, false, everything else is true. All right, let's get into it. Let me SSH into my other box because I did something really cool in my personal box the other day. I don't want you guys to see my other box though. Hold on. Let's see, where would this be? So I ran an entire AMAS on all this data that I have, but I don't know where I put it. Tools, cert and destroy, CD data maybe. Yeah, AMAS is here, cool. I'm gonna copy so I ran AMAS through all the root subdomains that we found on one of those stream weekends. I'm just gonna SCP it over real quick. It's called AMAS Alive. Actually, just all of the AMAS data that I have. One sec. Just gotta pull them over here. And as soon as I do that, we can start. Because I think you guys would enjoy it. Okay, so. It's clear. There's more clears. Okay. So. I ran AMAS on every subdomain that was in here. So if you do yahoo.com, whatever you run this thing, it gives you all these subdomains, right? There's like 500 of them, I think. Oops. So it's 582. I fed this through the passive AMAS. I passed this to AMAS passive, and this is what the results look like. Oh, by the way, before I start, if you want to donate to LLS, there is a little bit left on my account. We are literally close to the finish line. So if you want to donate, everybody that subscribes today is going to get donated. So anybody, thank you, Sean. I appreciate the follow on the sub. So if you want to donate, if you want to donate to LLS, you can do it directly. But if you want to help me donate $1,000 to LLS, all you got to do is subscribe. We are almost at $1,000, and yeah, I'm at 955. So once we get it to 1,000, I'm gonna start a new GoFundMe page for LLS. And Sean, thank you for the kind words. I appreciate it. So thank you, Zero Limit. Ash, thank you. I appreciate it. So I ran this through AMAS, and this is the data that I got from it. So amasyahoo.com. Whoa. Thank you for that, Ash. I appreciate it. All the gifts. So we can look for, let's do JQ. Let's do this. No, that's JR. JQ. And we want the name. So we're going to do name. I think this should work, yeah. Ooh, calm down. There we go. So these are all the domains that it gave me. There's a lot of them, right? And there's probably a lot of false positives. But the count is pretty high. It's about like 135,000. Thank you, Cyborg. I appreciate it. And welcome back. So we have a ton of domains, and AMAS alive. Let's see what that is. There's like 10,000 of them are alive. So I wanted to go through these, and I purposely avoided going through these yesterday. Bitco, thank you, man. I appreciate it. 10 of them. Jesus Christ, you guys are awesome. You and Bit, are you one now? Are you number one, Bitcode? Because I think Bitwise was gunning for number one for a while. Well, thank you. You guys are very awesome. So yeah, this is what we have, and I kind of want to go through all these. There's 10,000 subdomains. There's got to be a lot of APIs, right? Like, there's got to be some interesting stuff in here. But who knows? We're gonna do a sort U just to make sure there is enough of them. Sort U, and let's see how big this is. So we get all the unique ones. So yeah, the 10,000 is still there. Bitcode is second. Wow, how are you second with all the giveaways you've done? Blows my mind. Holy shit. Jesus Christ, you guys are awesome. Thank you. Yeah, I don't have a sort jar today. It's only for Saturdays, just so you know. Wow, insane. I think we're at the goal already. I think we are. Y'all are making it rain. All right, so a lot of domains, lots and lots of it. So I was thinking, what's the easiest way for us to make some good data sets? Okay. So what's a good data set for us to do? Should we just directory search and see what we get out of these? Gotta find those waddles, right? So let's go to tools. Let's clear this up real quick. So let's go to our... Wow, this alert thing is not gonna go away, is it? You guys are killing me. That's awesome. Thank you, Cyborg. I don't find... I'm just gonna ignore people that ask me what if I find a vulnerability. You should just watch my stream before you ask that question, because I get that question asked on Twitter a lot, and I'm tired of answering it. Just watch the stream, you'll find out. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're going to go to directory search, and let's go to the database. They'll call it DB or whatever. These are all the APIs we have found, right? We looked for all these. We did them on our own. There's some garbage in there. There's some non-garbage items in there. No, this is from SecList, I think, maybe. Is this from SecList? Maybe this is from SecList. It can't be ours. Hold on. Yahoo APIs is what we found. There we go. So these are all the ones that we found, which is great because we have some really cool endpoints for Yahoo. More importantly, I want to find more. What's happening? Is chat being nice? Do I need to boot someone? No? Okay. Just making sure. I don't feel safe without my mods right now. So what we're going to do is we can do this. We can go after this file and kind of like get all the APIs that we want, but I don't know if that's the right approach. I honestly don't know. But I mean, we have API, Swagger, application to Waddle. Let's do one more. Let's do a few more. Do I have API docs? I do have API docs. Cool. So I have GraphQL, I have queries, I have API.json. I don't have docs. Let's do docs, API docs, API docs.json. Thank you for the follow. API v1 docs, API v2 docs, and then we'll do API v3 docs. And then Okay, so we have docs, application model for all of them. We have it there. I'm gonna do this just in case. Just in case there's some, you know, WAF stuff happening. So we have all of the application models that we always find. I think it's a good solid list to start. So I'm gonna run this on all of these domains that we have. How many is that? Can we do them all? It's 78, and there's a pretty big list of them. All right, chat, what should we do? Should we just go after like sports and APIs, or should we do, let's just do sports for now and see how it goes. We'll fit it to xargs, multiprocess it, and we'll see where it goes. So we'll do tools, directory search. Oh yeah, we're gonna use fuff at some point, huh? Maybe I should do fuff because we'll do fuff in the next batch. I don't know. I'm not really. Yeah, I don't know about fuff yet. We'll do fuff next round. And I'm gonna grep for sports, and I'm gonna grep for HTTPS, and I am going to pass that here. We'll give it 20. We'll give it JSON, and just for funsies, we're gonna give it a timeout of 2. And for our file, we're going to give it db yahoo.txt. Let's see where this takes us. And nope, that was wrong. Timeout is one word. Okay, don't have to yell at me, jeez. But I feel like multiprocessing this was a bad idea because now I don't know where, if it pops up with 200, I don't know which one had it. So we'll see. I don't think anything's going to come back. Whoa, 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 whoa. Calm yourself. Calm yourself. Calm yourself. Where is that? Ah, it's false positive. Yeah, I think multiprocessing this was a bad idea. So let's just give it more threads so it goes by faster. So 78 of them. We'll give it 70, and then we will take out the P4 out of this. So let's take this out. I gotta do it again. Let's take this out. And let's make this 70. And I'm gonna play some music because it's quiet right now. No timeout. My bad. Let's try this for now and see where it goes. Do you have mastiness in your recon workflow? Yes, you should have. We should watch the stream. Go to watch the VOD from yesterday. It's not going to be on YouTube. So if you do want to learn, if you want to see how I used it, you should watch yesterday's video before it's gone. Because I'm not posting that one on YouTube. It's probably not going to make it to YouTube because of all the music that I had in the background. A lot of my videos are getting flagged lately because of the music. So the one with Andre even got flagged because of the music. That's why I haven't posted it from last week. Yeah, it has a copyright claim on it right now. Jeez. And it takes so long to mute these songs. It's just really weird. Okay. That's going to process. All right. So not much on here yet. This one came back with some stuff, but I have a feeling all of this is just garbage. Same with this one. So V1 query. Everything I put in, I think says okay. Yeah, so everything we put in there says okay. We're going to ignore this one. We'll find some more stuff. I mean, we'll see where it takes us. Especially classical music. I don't know about that, champ. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Where is royalty-free electro and others? Is there enough? Yeah, there is. Let's not play ads during my stream. Rude. Alright, there we go. If anyone wants a playlist, here's a playlist. If everyone wants to listen to it. There you go. Alright, so this is still going. Nothing good yet. I'm just doing a quick scan, to be honest. I don't want to run all my endpoints on this thing. So let's see where it goes. Sound is fixed? What do you mean it's fixed? Did I not sound good earlier? Oh, no one said anything about the sound. You can't hear me good? What do you mean you can't hear me good? My sound is all the way up. It's in the... Yeah, I'm peaking even. Yeah, I don't understand why. Alright. I think people are just... Maybe you should turn up the volume on your device. It's also that I'm not talking loud enough. I'm still not fully awake, so... Alright, so... This is a pretty large list. So let's go back here and... I don't know if we should go back, but let's think about this. So let's go to... Is my data in here or... Okay, I think it's in the other folder. Let's do Saturdays, try and destroy. Okay, I need to look at this. Yahoo AMAS. Let's look at some of these. Like, there's a lot of false positive. I don't care about any of these. Anything that starts with a number or... I don't care about store, so let's just get it out of the way already. I'm gonna get that out of the way. I don't need that. I don't need that in my life. And a bunch of garbage here. Let's see what this is. I don't know if I want to screenshot 10K domains, so I'm going to look at them slowly. So this might be a good way to look. Oh, manager, Yahoo Small Business. All right. So Yahoo Small Business is a good one, I guess, but we'll come back to it. I've seen this admin one a lot, and it goes to Okta. So I wonder if it's worth looking at it. No, okay, let's keep going. This admin one seems to be very interesting. I wonder if, like, it would still, yeah, it does. Yeah, I wonder what this is. I haven't seen it anywhere else. And the only thing that comes up, it's mine. All right. So let's keep going. This looks pretty interesting, but this is going to come up when we do our grip for API, but I just want to see what it looks like. Measurements at Yahoo APIs. I'm starting to think Yahoo APIs may be a good place to start. Application.waddle. Waddle. Nope, no waddling. Don't like the look of this. Alright, let's keep going. It's a good one to look at later. Anything that has API seems to be good to look at. Let's get this subdomain really quick though. Let's throw it in here and see what it has. Whoa. There we go. And then we can throw it in Censys too, since certs doesn't want to help us. I thought I logged in yesterday. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Hold on. Okay, so let's throw this in here and see what we find. I don't think it's going to come up with anything, that we'll try. Yeah, nothing comes up really. It's looking at 80 though. I don't know if port 80 is something I want to look at. I bet you if I do this, watch. Let's do this, and then I bet you there's going to be something coming up. Unless this cert isn't... This certificate shows measurement, so... I didn't think so. I thought it would come up, but... There are some interesting stuff, though, like UAD2. I bet you we've never seen UAD2 at all. There's some interesting stuff coming up, but that's not... VPG, that's a good one. And it's recently new. Parse name. Let's throw this again in here. I'm already logged in. What do you want from me, Censys? Jesus. A lot of wildcards, but it's good to manually brute force these at some point. We gotta start working on that eventually too, on Saturdays. Nothing for IPv4 comes up. What makes you think that's interesting? It's just domains that I've never seen. Like this one? No, I've never seen this. I don't think it's super interesting, but it's just that these are the things that I've never seen on Yahoo, right? Like it is coming up during certificates. The other one to look at would be cool is like doing a BF1 and then throw an admin next to it maybe. I don't know if it's gonna come up with anything, but it's just me looking and being curious, right? There isn't a checklist in my head that I go like done. This is interesting, but like I've seen some really cool stuff on Tripod before by looking at Tripod, but it's going to be very hard to find more domains on Tripod. So let's just look at it really quick. Maybe we should do... Okay, so, like, I don't know if this is accessible, but yeah, it's not. Like, I've seen some really cool stuff on Tripod. I can see that now. I can see Nafi just hosting for this on anything that he has Tripod on. To see if he could hit it. So let's look at non-certificate stuff really quickly. Oh, my nose is like killing me today. It's itching. All right, we'll do... I really hope I'm not getting sick. Why isn't Yahoo itself coming up? Let's do 443 parse name. HTTPS, TLS, parse names. It's yahoo.com. And we can base it on this one for now. We no longer need that. So Yahoo Oath Holdings is here. Is that Yahoo 2? I don't think it's a Yahoo 2. Okay. So there's 500 domains coming up for Yahoo. So let's see what comes up with some of these while the scans are happening, because this scan is still going on, and I don't think... Yeah, I don't think it's doing too good. So let's leave it for now, and we'll come back to it once it's done. I want to see what we can find on here that's interesting for us. What do you mean that scan is a mess? Fantastical. What's up, Daniel? How's it going? I'm trying to clean up my screens a little. There we go. All right. What is this? Lots of random crap, most of which we've seen. Let's keep on going. I wonder if we do a corp.yahoo.com, there's going to be plenty of them coming up, but for now, for the sake of this stream, like I've seen some really cool stuff on ADX in the past, but like there's tons of garbage here again. Is there an application model on this? Nope. Thank you for the follow, Emrate. So let's see where this goes. I don't think there's anything up here, but we could always like, thank you for the host, Unanimous. We can also like throw stuff into Shodan, but like Stream Sport, let's see what we can find with it. Wow, what a disappointment. What a disappointment. This was sport, right? So we're going to do sport. And then we're going to grab for 200 and see what comes up. I have a feeling none of these are... I think we've seen this one before. I think someone gave us this last couple weeks ago. Yeah, we've looked at this one before, I think. This I have a hard time believing it has anything in it. Actually, maybe. Let's see. Okay. This one we've seen before. Not a whole lot. I'm glad you said you were joking because I almost banned you, just so you know. So yeah, the fantasy sports one is garbage. Double play YQL, I don't know about that. I think these are all false positives. Yep, almost guaranteed. This one is garbage, I want to say, but you never know is a thing. Not garbage. I think we have already, well, yeah, nothing good on here at least. There's some GQL fantasy stuff. The schema's on here. So it's like API v1 schema. So I'm going to throw this. I don't know if I want to look at this. How dare you say 404? Nope. I thought it was going to load. Yeah, there we go. So there's a lot of weird stuff on here that I don't want to poke at too much. This we've seen already, so let's keep going. I think this list is almost done anyways. So we're going to do the same thing with just API now. This is going to be a pretty big list. So what I'm going to do is this one I'm going to run it a little bit. Crying out loud. Come on. All right, let's go back. Grep API. And then... Okay. This should work. Let it do its thing. Hopefully something hits on here, so we can get some more endpoints. Alright. How you doing, chat? Can you share the API search list of your lovely supporters? No, because I showed how I made it. I'm not gonna. Sorry, I don't like to spoon food people. I open that up in front of the entire stream and every time, and I show how I do it. You're welcome to make your own if you like. Not a whole lot of interesting stuff on here. Rivals, AOL. Maybe we should start looking at AOL at some point too. Yeah, I'll hack some Jira soon. Alright, let's keep on going. I'm going to hit my limit at some point anyways. So, it's going to probably kick me out of Censys in a sec. I wonder if it's more beneficial to just go after the domains instead of going through it like this. Alright, let's go back and do 443 HTTPS TLS parse name. Let's see. Thank you for the follow. A lot of corp coming up on BF1. See, tripod I was just looking at and it wasn't coming up, but now somehow it comes up. That's what blows my mind. So like right here, it says like it's Yahoo and it's on Amazon. So let's see what it is. 4443. Because I don't know why port 4443 had something apparently, but only with an enterprise account using our Bitcoin data set at this time. Enterprise account can also download. Really? That's dumb. So 4443 is a very good place to look at Yahoo stuff, but disappointing that they don't let you play with it here. It says no accelerator, but I'm gonna run it on directory search anyways, just to be safe. Let's do yahoo.txt into DB dictionary. So on default, it also does that. Thank you for the follow, Alex. All right. I don't think this is going to play out the one I wanted to, but there's a lot of stuff coming up from Tripod. Like lots and lots of stuff. Lots of different IP addresses coming up with the same thing. So what makes me think is, what if... Hold on, let me think this through. All of these are showing this. So this is not accessible from outside, it looks like, is it? No. So what if we do... Is this going to give us anything? So now it says 200 versus 404. So it looks like we have something here now. Like, look at the response differences. This one is a 200. 404. Dates are the same. Content type is the same. So if I wanted to brute force this, for example, I would have to use this host setter. So if I do API, not anything found, v1, nothing found, API, maybe application model has something. No. So I wonder also the other thing, like, can we do... Thank you for the follow. 4443. It said there was something for 4443, but no. Okay. But there was a trick you could do this back in the day with Yahoo. I don't know if it works still or not. So I 404. Wait. Wait a second. I want to see how this behaves if I give it a... So it still says not found, but... Hold on. Is it the same exact error? It is, okay. Alright, so what I'm going to do is... Ooh, look at that. Something came back. But I have a feeling we know this one about this one already. But let's focus on this really quick. So this is coming back with... Hold on. Let's do Python 3 directory search H. So you can give it a header, right? So I can just go... Header is... host is... Shit. Host is... this without the HTTP, and this, and we're going to give it an HTML extension. Let's see where this goes. Wait, what? Oh, duh, we need this. So we know there is something on this host, we just can't reach it. This is a good example of it too, like... But I want to know what's on here because I can't reach anything on this. Is it a status page? Nope. Interesting. Nothing comes up really, which is really weird. What do you mean ping's still there? I genuinely want to know what's on this now, like... Because, like... Obviously this is internally being used for something. Not this one. Is it this one? We can vhost for this. Let's see what this comes up with. Let's see. Let's see. 404. So if you hit this without the vhost, hold on. Let me see if I give it an invalid host now. What does it do? So there's a difference right here. Look, I'm gonna do it again. Watch. So this is with the invalid host name. It says accelerator not found. With a valid host name, it says just not found. Request on the server. Which is an odd behavior, right? Does this make sense or am I just going nuts? Am I just losing it or does that make sense? Because I wonder if... Yeah, it says... Not found accelerator. And I bet you, like, there's more than just this. So let's pop in here and double tap and make it this. Tripod.vip. These are the only things that come up. I agree we should... Oh, status.html. Watch. So let's see. Status.html. Let's just prove this once and for all. No, don't. Continue, please. Don't let me stop you. Status.html. Oh, services. So either way, no matter what, status.html came up. So it doesn't matter if even we hit the right vhost. If there was an API, it would still come up. We just don't know what to look for on this box. So there could be some path that we can't find. Tripod? I don't know. We'll try it. Nah, not tripod. Let's do this with tripod and see if it would give us anything. No, nothing with tripod. Okay, that was a good run. Let's keep on coming. We'll come back to this. Let's keep on looking. So there's those like random domains you hit like this that aren't supposed to be there, but you know, you find them. Let's look at corp. Outside of VPN, if you find something that might be interesting. Dragonfly? What's this? Oh, I thought you meant tripod. I don't know what tripod is. Back in the day, I used to see a lot of API documentation on tripod. What if we... I don't know if I wanted the Dragonfly. That's a very old domain. Is there a 4443? No, okay. Let's look at sports. Excuse me. I want to see if there's anything for sports coming up that's important. Or looks interesting at least. Is there a way to exclude anything on Shodan? Because that would be really nice. API global. Can we access this? Nope. Nope. What about if we go by IP? Application not waddle. Okay, let's see what that scanned because I think it's over. Let's do API. I think we've seen most of these anyways. But doesn't hurt it to try. Okay. This is new. I think we've never seen this one. Have we seen this one, chat? I think we have maybe. Oh yeah, we've seen this one. Everyday cards. This is the one where we found dudes testing maybe. Yeah, shortcuts. We've seen this one. Internal set default shortcut. Yeah, we've seen this one for sure. Oh. Oh, nice. That's awesome. Did you directory brute force this? You should definitely directory brute force it. Hold on 1 second. All right. It's a new terminal, beta terminal, whatever we're going to call it. Let's just do this and see what it gives us. But I want to look at these a little bit. I want to make sure none of these... I know the PNW one is or Slick API I have never seen. So let's do that. Cool. This one I can say I've never seen. All system go. Whoa, that looks cool. And you can actually hit it. That's cool. I know someone's going to snipe me right now and report this probably if they find something on it. So this is a post. Oh, that's a GET request. So let's see what this will give us. It needs a URL. Let's give it a URL. So that one isn't up, I don't think. We can't hit this, I don't think. This we can, but... Whoa. But I don't know how to get UIDs. Oh, video UIDs. There we go. So, video UIDs takes a list ID parameter, language, region, batch, and debug. Whoa, debug seems fun. Is debug true? Is it debug 1? No, it's none of those. We'll do list ID. Alright, now you're fucking with me. We need to find a valid list ID, looks like. Interesting. I'm really interested by this because I don't think this is meant to be public, but I really want to get a list of. Huh. Let's Google this. No, I don't think it can find anything about this thing. Okay, this is really interesting though. I'm gonna. Hold on. I thought we wrote something for Waddle, didn't we? We call it Waddle, didn't we? The Waddle is what we called it. So we called it the Waddle, which hits a URL and then dumps it all in there. The Waddle. Boom, got it. Okay, decent APIs. No, I don't think in URL will do anything, to be honest, because I was looking for like some sort of documentation. Like I was hoping someone has like done this before, but outside of random Robbie's garbage, I don't find anything else. Alright, give me a sec. I gotta get a water. Hold on, chat. I'll be back. Give me like a few seconds. My brain hurts from this. I gotta take a breather. I'm gonna get a water really quickly. My coffee's almost done too. Give me a sec. I'll be back in like literally a minute or two. Before I do leave, let's do this. Someone give me a keyword so we can throw in here so it would scan. We'll do YQL. I'll put YQL in there, let it scan, and I'll be back. Saturday, certain destroyed. Okay, I'll be back. You guys want to hear me vape again? I don't know if my vape's been alive. I think it's dead. Yeah, it's pretty dead. I'm gonna plug it in just because you guys want me to vape. I'll bring Darth Vader out. Oh boy, hold up. This leg is about to drop. Hold on. If you hear a loud bang, just know my microphone dropped. Alright, I think I fixed it for now. Alright, I think we're good for now. It shouldn't drop at least at the end of the show. Alright, how are we doing? So, anything here for YQL? So I put in YQL to see if any of the domains that have the name YQL in it would have anything, but it doesn't look like it. Tools, data search, reports, YQL, grep 200. Grep a bunch of garbage. Also a ton of garbage here though. Did we look at this one already? Just to make sure we didn't miss anything. Coupons. I don't think we looked at this one. Marketing event status. I don't remember looking at this one. Do you guys remember looking at this? I have no idea what's happening in my own chat. Hold on. Anybody remember us looking at this? So I don't waste my time. I don't think we looked at this ever. There's some brands. Athens. Get order list for internal. Well, you gotta tell me twice. Account services. So we should definitely look at this. Admin services is where it's at. So let's close these out one by one until we get to what we want, which is admin services under API. Whoop, that's not what I want to do. Really? This is why I hate Windows. I didn't ask you to do that. There we go. Jesus. And then this is the one, which also gives me a 4-3. But I do wonder if this has been ever spoken about. Athens. I don't think that's the same thing. It looks like it's the same thing though. It is. I think it is. Athens. Okay. Not gonna waste my time too much on it. Why do you need the domain name? Like, you don't need to just go and I'm just gonna bite my tongue. I don't want to go on a rant, but stop trying to be like, look for the domains. It's not that you don't need to know what domain I'm hacking on to go and follow along. It's just the point of this is for you to see the stuff that I like, how I look for the stuff that I look for. I'm just really irritated at how bug bounty scene has become. So if I feel triggered sometimes, you know why. So I think we need a token to access any of these. So if we can find a Athens auth token somewhere, that'd be really cool, but I don't think we'll ever find one. Yeah, we'll have to like go deep on GitHub and yeah, we'll have to go deep on YouTube and GitHub and see if we can find some. But there's a lot of garbage on here that we could fuss for. I wonder if, hold on. So there's legacy services, right? And then this one has GD booth image source. What is this? Which gives us this now. This gives an image of some sort that requires an ID. And if you go through this ID, it gives you something apparently. So there is a web services folder on this, obviously. And it has a ton of stuff on it. What's up, TN? This is pretty interesting. I don't want to poke this too much because I'm scared of it having something in it. So I'm going to not touch that as much as I can. You guys are welcome to do it. I just don't want to do it. So if I do 1, 2, 3, nothing. If I do like just garbage stuff in there, nothing. More garbage. So it didn't like the 1, but you like the 2 together. Oh, it works. Okay. So I don't think there's a lot of I don't know. What do you think, chat? The web services thing is interesting to me. Right? Like, look, there's more of them. Or is it the same one we're looking at? If I go 1. Oh, that's what we're looking at. 12. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That all gives you the same thing. I want to see a valid one on how this works. But I have yet to see one. Okay, there we go. Maybe this one would work. 481, whatever. And S is 200. I don't think that's going to do much, but yeah, it's not giving me anything for it. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's an old service that the files aren't in anymore. Would it matter if I did this? That wouldn't make a difference, right? No, it doesn't make a difference. This is probably the size, yeah, so that doesn't really make a difference either. Interesting. Okay, let's not poke it too much because I'm live right now and I don't want to cause a problem for the paranoids on a Sunday. I would hate to have to call Mark right now and be like, hey, I did something. Can you help me out? I don't want that. There we go. Valid image. So, this is a valid image. But let's see if we can go back 1. Okay, so if I do 8 minus 1, doesn't work. What does the source look like for this? So whatever I put in here, don't make a difference. Okay. Let's not poke this anymore. But this is interesting stuff. At least to me it is. And we found a valid format for it. But what doesn't make sense to me is, let's go back to here, where we're looking for. So legacy is always a good one to look at, obviously. So let's go to the next endpoint. And this one takes GDID, which doesn't really do much. And then ACT doesn't do much. Thank you for the sub. I appreciate it. Thanks so much. Which, by the way, taking a break real quick. Did we hit the number we wanted to hit? Yeah, I wonder how you can push like images to that. Because those look like the shops, right? Like you can push your image into it. Are we at our goal? Whoa, we broke our goal. $1,008. Awesome work. So I gotta figure out how to donate this now. Awesome. Thanks everyone. Thanks everyone that subscribed, especially the ones that gave out the subscriptions. I think Bitcode, Bitwise, JD, Cyborg, a few other folks. Did I miss anybody? Ash. Cool. Let's keep going. Let's just waddle this thing. The waddle. The waddle. Cool. More and more stuff for us to look at. But what I don't know is if I hit API and like do this, is it gonna give me an error? Okay, so at least it gives a 404, but it's different. But at least we have them. Okay, let's go back to our original. This one. Okay. So we did the shipping one. I'm gonna call it ship. Let's see what this is, because there's a lot of API dogs that's coming back. What's weird is it's saying that it's not, like it's not 404. Originally it wasn't, at least. Oh, there we go. There is something here for Swagger. I just don't know where it's at. So there is a Swagger.json probably sitting somewhere. We just don't know where to find it. Like, typically it's one of these routes. It's also like API.json. It could be API docs.json. Yeah, I don't think we're going to find it, but it's good to know it's up here somewhere. So if someone wants to poke this, you're good to go. Yeah, so what the waddle does here, I'll show you what it looks like. The waddle does this. Do you want the command for it? I can't see your name. Someone leet. If you want the command for it, that's what it is. Oh, cool. Clipped it. Awesome. Yeah, so we did this one already. This has something. One of you guys should look into it. One of you that's not me should look into it. And I assume it's the same thing here. Oh, no. There's nothing there. 39. It's query builder. Manifest.json. What's this? Oh, we need to. So it's a React app. Okay. Ah, okay. It's not that big of a deal, but I do wonder if like this is. So this is where it gets tricky for me as a streamer if I want to do this kind of stuff or not. Because like the first thing I want to do is like, you know, like try localhost. It doesn't work. Whatever. So I would see if it's a server side. It's probably a server side. Like you could do stuff like this sometimes, but API token. Don't have one, but we can select a table, day, time, blah blah blah, events, crap, to see if this will let me make a request. And most importantly, I want to know if so this just gives you. Oh, okay, cool. Well then, if that's the case, and you don't want to give me what I want, then we're going to just do what we want to do. And that is, we're going to see if we can find, because like every single one of these, by the way, the entire maps are here too. Hold on one sec. Yeah, it is here. Okay, so what I would typically for this one, like, this just looks like it builds a query for you to hit the Flurry metrics API. But there's a few things wrong, because I think, first of all, this has to be internal. I think. I could be wrong. But also, like, it's giving us it's giving us where the APIs, you know what I mean? It's giving us API endpoints, public, v1, but it never actually does the request, which is a bummer. Because like I would love for it to actually do the request where I could see if this is server side or not. So unfortunately, oh wait, it does make the request right here. Can we do this just to be lame? It doesn't do alert. At least we know it's not. This looks really shady. I think we can do a lot with this than we think. But I also wonder, like, no matter what I put in there, it still makes a request. Right? I don't want to mess with this too much, but it's, at least it's trying. But it's always like changing the host name back. All right. We'll leave this alone. This is production, though. So we know there's a v1 query omega thing right here. Query builder is a good one. I wonder if there's like a... Actually, you know what? Curiosity is making me want to do this. I don't think these are real real Yahoo host, are they? No. All right. Let's throw this in certificates. See what comes up. If query builder comes up, then we can look for some more. But I don't think there is anything for this. Let's see. Ben host name. Nope. Yeah, it would have been cool to see this pop up, like, outside of query builder, you know? Oh, this is why. Why won't it show me the certificate for it? Interesting. Okay. Let's go through here. I think the security tab is supposed to show it to you. There we go. Sorry, I'm not used to that layout. It's not letting me reload to see the information for this. I really want to know where this cert is for. Grammy, I think you watched enough of my streams not to do that. I feel like you're trolling me now. I really want to know. Okay, let's do different then. So we're gonna do something different. So host is on GQ1 VIP Media Prod, and then it's on Omega 1. So if I do that, it doesn't work. Just for fun. It's just. So okay, the Vhost thing does kind of pan out if we find enough Vhosts on here, right? Like, it'll be awkward if this does work, but like, if I hit, shit, where am I? Why can't I properly do this? If I hit like admin here, it shouldn't work. There shouldn't be an admin on here, but like, it would be a trip, right? 502 cannot find server. It's a really good place to directory brute force now. Like, I would throw this in fuff and just have it fuzz for this name right here and see if there's anything there. Like, for example, internal, admin, and a bunch of other crap that you can put on there. Because it's telling you unknown host. So it's being very, very verbose. But what sucks is we can't find anything else. Also, it's funny, like, let's see one sec. Just for fun. That didn't work. Yeah, I would love to see more stuff on this. Like, if it's cert.sh, if it's whatever, I don't care. Like, it would be cool to find some subdomains underneath this. So we can do aim as. I don't think passive is going to find anything on this, but we can try. We can definitely try. There we go. Hold on. Nope. Go back. What was that? Flurry Explorer. Is that a thing? We can access that on our own. There's a dub one. What is that? These are all just whatever you put on there is going to come up, I feel like. Yeah, it's a bummer. Yeah, I'm not trusting that. I'm not wasting my time on that. I don't think there's anything on here. We'd have to directory brute force. Not directory. We'd have to like manually brute force for it. Yeah, someone from my stream's gone banned from GeoHot stream because when we went over there, we hosted him. Kind of a big ego, I think, but who's on Twitch right now that we can go fuck with? Anybody? Oh, he's... Should we? Oh, that's good. Ask about keyboard equals timeout. This is it right there. Look at that. No, I'm not gonna do it. I have a guest coming on in 30 minutes. So yeah, if you want to get banned, maybe at the end of the maybe at the end of the stream we could go in there and all of us ask him about his keyboard. What do you guys think, Jan? After Sam comes on, we'll all go in there and ask him. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to start people hating on me because of that. All right, let's clean up some tabs. This was interesting though. Like, this was a good thing to chase. I would probably chase this more. I would honestly go down the path of like, I would consider brute forcing for anything that's under V1 through like fuff. Because fuff lets you just pretty much type in right here. You can just put in fuzz and it will tell you. Like query, not query you, but query. There's got to be something cool on here. Something's going to eventually come back and This is 400. What was the last one we tried? See, now it's going from 502 on admin to, if I do query.v1, it went to 400. This gave us 400 on Vhost. So do I? Oh shit. That's why it gave me 400. Good catch. No, but it's still though. Oh, there we go. All right, you win. I'll shut up. Point taken. All right, let's keep going. This was interesting, by the way. Whoever sent this in, I would poke this a lot more if I were you, because on our oath itself is Athens is a big deal to Yahoo or Verizon Media, and so is our oath. Our oath is their internal domain, as far as I know. Did we waddle this? Chat, did I waddle? The waddle. Slick API, nope. I think we already have that, though. Also, another thing is, like, check this out. Like, this is on media and has OOB. We could just go in here and see what else we can find for it. Nothing, obviously. Obviously nothing. We can't ever find it. But yeah, there's like the waddle thing on Yahoo has been really, really fun to look for. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one. There used to be a lot more of them. By the way, how's the viewership right now? I don't even know how many people are watching. Anyone? Oh, DMFR, what's up? Alright, Sam's going to come on in a sec. Let's keep on looking at these APIs. I want to find... What were we doing for Omega? There we go. Let's do Omega. And then let's see what that comes up with. Oh, bullshit. There's usually more than that. Oh, someone said 191 and then 119, I mean, and that was a weird jump. So more tripod stuff, obviously. It's never going to go away. I think I want to start looking at other domains. I think the parents are going to make some new properties. For next week, can we move away from Yahoo maybe? Because I think... Let's see real quick. We got to wrap up Yahoo because I think I'm pretty done with Yahoo. And then we could start hitting makers, build series. I don't know if I want to go after Y image because not a whole lot of fun. Yahoo DNS, but stock.yahoo.com. Hold on. Let's see what stock.yahoo.com brings us. Yeah, not a whole lot. So not a whole lot on here. Out of scope. Do not use. Okay, we won't touch those. HuffPost is a good one we could do. But I feel like Huffington Post doesn't have much on it. Right? I feel like... What the fuck? Okay, there we go. It has some. Trump cards. That's interesting. Wow. They've dedicated a whole site to this. Alright. Well, there is some stuff, I guess, we can look at. Maybe next week we'll look at Huffington Post a little bit. Yeah, I'm pretty tired of Yahoo. The small targets aren't as fun to do a stream on just because I can't find bugs on it. So I'm going to counter that with something soon. I've been saying I want to do Juicebox soon. I might start this next week. Okay, let's keep on going. Enough chit chat. Let's look at our oath that you sent earlier. I'm curious to see what comes up on here. Yahoo tab, Yahoo tab, Yahoo tab. There's a lot of... Ooh, Artifactory. Living on the edge right now, but... Don't make me take my stream down. Come on. Yeah, but like think about it like Goldman Sachs hears that like I'm hacking on them live and how they would freak out on me more than likely. I asked the DoD to let me do it. I literally called their team. I had a call with their team asking about doing this. So there is a chance of me doing DoD. So it's not too far-fetched, but I'm also scared of doing it because, like, I don't know. Twitch and, like, hacking Twitch already is, like, toxic enough for streamers, I feel like, sometimes. Not, my community is not toxic at all, but you know what I mean. Like, it could get toxic real quick. Especially if I put up, like... No, I haven't talked to Goldman Sachs. I've talked to PayPal. I don't know, like, I don't want to... I know a lot of streamers that are just recently are doing recon stuff that aren't asking for any permission. I don't care. Like, you're more than welcome to stream and not ask for permission. But I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to, I don't want to go and do live recon on some company and then they find out and, they get pissed off at me. So this is why I'm doing Yahoo. A lot of people say, "Oh, I'm tired of you doing Yahoo," and like I'm tired of you doing recon. Like, if you think about it, you go watch Shroud, right? He plays the same games over and over and over and over and over again, right? It's not like he's doing anything different. He's literally playing. He was playing. Oh, nice. Shot was literally playing PUBG for the longest time, and he was doing the same shit every day. Oh yeah, these are interesting to have. There's a cool exploit for these, if you get them on the right host, but anyways. But yeah, like, it's the same thing, right? What a heck. What a heck. Wonderman, you should go put this question right here. Look, you go right here. You scroll down. You keep scrolling, right? And then right here, ask NahamSec anything. Click it. Bug bounty general. And then I could definitely look into it. I think I'm gonna close this off eventually soon. It's almost at 234 questions. And a lot of it is bug bounty and recon. Nobody asked anything outside of that. Bunch of trolls. So, thank you, Security. I appreciate it. Alright, let's keep on going. Our oath looks pretty interesting. I'm going to ask the Paranoids if they'll let me kind of take a step back from Yahoo and do AOL maybe at one point, but... it'd be really funny if Shroud did like watch my stream. That'd be very, very funny. I don't think that would ever happen. I don't think hacking is gonna ever become as big, and I don't know. It could be. Like that's my eventually. That's my goal. I want this to become as cool as hacking, but I don't think anyone's gonna watch it. I'm not. Like in gaming, you can do a lot of stuff, but all right. Our oath is getting boring. Let's go back to here and oh wait, hold on. I've never seen those ones. Whoa, hold up. Nice. Let's dewaddle this one. Okay. But yeah, like it's not as I know it's not the same as doing video games, because with video games you can do a lot of stuff, but hacking is like one of those things that like companies are still scared of doing it. I feel like some companies are legit not into working with hackers still, and working, like, for me it's also been harder because I work for one of the biggest, if not the biggest, bug bounty platform out there, that does this for a living, right? So it makes me really hard. Like, it makes it really hard for me. I said that wrong. It makes me really hard. Ooh, beep that out. It makes it really hard for me to like say, screw it, I'm gonna do so-and-so bug bounty program tomorrow. I'm not doing anything illegal if I wanted to do the recon on PayPal, but because of my job, it puts me in a really, really weird position. So that's partially why I gotta walk that fine line. Like, I'm cool with seeing other developers or other streamers doing these, doing these random streams without permission. Cool, but I don't want to be responsible for any of that. That was a long ass text. Getting crazy. I'm getting crazy because I don't know if I can submit my bug or not. I have found a SQL in a program because I have an old version of the web app. I could exploit that with SQL map, and I was successful to getting the SQL shell. Blah blah blah. I don't know. So my question is, can I submit the bug even there's no data? Yeah, submit it. You have a SQL injection. It might not be like, obviously if I had data on it and it was like, if I had customer data, it would be critical, right? But the criticality is going to drop. Just submit it. Like, just submit it. Who cares? Like, worst cases, they're going to tell you to self-close it, right? Because it's a valid bug. But if it's in scope and if you have an actual proof of concept, then you might as well, right? What are you going to lose other than make $100 at the least, or whatever the minimum amount is? All right, let's do this really quickly. Let's go to Shodan. Did anyone buy the dollar Shodan or what? I gotta switch profiles for this. Thanks, Big Code. Who all bought the Shodan subscription? For $1, I was gonna buy a bunch of them, but they don't want to give you any gifting features on their site, so not gonna deal with it. Rick did. Isn't it supposed to be SSL? I thought this worked. I guess not. Shodan SSL. Search. I thought there was a way to look for it. Doesn't like SSL look equals to something? It's been a while since I've been on here. Oh, I've never seen LA. Yeah, anybody know how that works? Does anyone remember? Disney. Nope. Web Solutions. What is that? That's interesting. If it's still on Yahoo. Hosting prod? I think that's Yahoo, but how did it change from? Very interesting. How did that change? And when did that change? Hey, my GF, how's it going? A lot of garbage on Shodan. This don't look good though. What is this? Do you have a cert? Identify yourself as Yahoo, please. Nope, Disney, getting out. Yeah, these are all like, all these weird hosts. Searching SSL cert Shodan. It is SSL. I was doing it right, but let's see where that takes us. Not what I wanted, but whatever. Can we do Amazon on it? Yeah, what's blowing my mind is that yahoo.com brought up a lot of, let's see, host name. Is there an oath.com? It's been a while since I've used Shodan. I gave up on Shodan a while ago. So I don't think it's going to come up with oath. Oh yeah, it does come up. Cool. There's some stuff that comes up at least. This one looks like an Angular JS. These all look like they're going to Okta anyways. So these are all, there's a bunch of Okta stuff. So we can just do this now. But I think this now is just anything Okta, no longer just Verizon Media. Right? Oath, Verizon. Oh no, it is just Verizon Media stuff. Cool. Oh, it definitely. Oh no. Well, okay. There is a few of them. Let's open up again. It's saying this is a lot of it are belong to Verizon Media. Oh boy, no boy, no. What is that? Oh, it's just a server status. Oh, that scared the crap out of me. That scared the crap out of me for a sec. It's just a status page. Okay, I gotta, hold on. Let me do this really quick before I forget. I gotta invite Sam to this. Because he's joining me live with NahamSec. And I gotta add him as a guest. One sec. Yeah, there is some like interesting stuff on here though. So let's see. Let me add him to this event calendar really quickly. Okay, he should be here in the next 15 minutes. Meanwhile, we're going to switch from, hold on, I want to see if we can do the same thing we did with Oath to like Yahoo instead. So I did SSL equals, hold on, let me think. Let's do yahoo.com and then SSL is Amazon, and then we'll do like yahoo.com. So Flickr is coming up. I don't know why this is coming up as Yahoo. Doesn't make sense. Unless you have a cert that says Yahoo. Nope. A lot of garbage though. I mean, I know this is not the best way to search for it. Oh, that's an admin. Ooh. Let's see if we can do something like trying to think of what would be the best. BF1 maybe? I don't think Yahoo would have a lot of stuff on Amazon. What do you think, chat? Don't you boring when you do only recon? Do you have a better suggestion for streamings? Because I would love to hear it. Do you have a better thing we could do for a stream? I did it on Saturdays usually, Rittenhouse. I did a lot of ASN stuff like this on Saturdays. It wasn't super cool to like deal with unless I start writing something that could actually get me certificates from, what am I doing, Walmart? I think I would use this as an example. If I could find something that gives me certs from IP addresses, that would be dope, but I don't know if it's worth investing a lot of time in it. Yeah, we did that for a very long time, for a little bit. It was really helpful. It gave me a deeper understanding of how this company operates as a whole. But the Vhost part is the hardest part with Yahoo going after the IP addresses. After going the IP addresses, you know what I mean? All right, so our oath is okay. Let's close this. Where is my Shodan that I had? Did I close it? No, there it is. Yeah, I really wanted to. That query builder thing was a very good chase, but I'm kind of like afraid of going after it more than I already did. Where is it? Yeah, that query builder was really, really interesting. I wonder how many. What time is it? Okay, I have time. Directory search. There's a lot of garbage in here, though, more than likely. Not bad. The order ID is something that we got to figure out. Like, we got to figure out a real one. But everything else seems to be pretty legit so far. I got to push this to GitHub at some point. I was shitting around as usual. Oh. Which one? Do you want this? You want this? Or do you want... Here, chat. Someone tweet that out. Should we tweet that out? I don't think it's that might as well, I guess. Here, let me push that out. Yeah, I'm gonna try and update that soon. I have a ton of commands I want to add to it. It's just I haven't gotten the right approach yet. I promise I will soon. And thank you for what was that? A follow, I assume? Yeah, thank you for the follow, Incognito, Bandito. What are you looking for? I just came. I want some big picture. We do a lot of recon on Sundays where I go after a lot of Yahoo assets. Hold on one sec. Let me push this on Twitter. I've been looking for a ton of API docs on Yahoo lately. Been adding. There you go. Enjoy. I mean, don't get me wrong, like that's not something I do every day. I do this on Sundays and Saturdays, and it like helps me build up my work for my other programs that I hack on. But I mean, doing recon isn't gonna make me money, right? Like, no matter how good at recon I get, it's not gonna make me money unless I know what I'm looking for. But how many, like, at the end of the day, if you're gonna go after like Yahoo, GitHub, I don't know, Uber, Snapchat, all these big ass companies, you gotta know how to do the big picture, right? The reason why I can't do what I want to do with Yahoo yet is like I want to do. So Haddix is doing this thing. I'm not gonna do it. He's welcome to do it. He's going after the entire Verizon Media umbrella. I'm not doing that because I don't have permission to do that. once they give me permission and they make all these new changes, I'm gonna go after the entire Verizon Media umbrella of everything that they have an asset and have it in scope. So like that's why I'm moving towards doing cron jobs on Saturdays. Like what I just wrote yesterday is gonna become a cron job every day, or every week or whatever, and then it's gonna diff stuff and tell us the differences and stuff like that. So right now, I want to just show different approaches of what you can do. I've been on a mission to create a Yahoo.com API word list. Thank you for the follow. So that's kind of why I've been so stuck on doing Yahoo a lot lately. I want to find more and more Yahoo subdomains that have API in them. Oh, maybe I shouldn't do it there. Let's switch this one. So like all of these that we have found is giving us endpoints, and when it comes down to mass scanning for crap, I think this is very valuable at least. I'm not hitting Huffington Post. I'm not looking at AOL. I'm not doing an Oath. I don't know what Haddix is looking at lately, but I've realized that he's not just doing Yahoo.com. I just want to walk on a fine line is what I'm trying to do. That is all. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Oh, cool. Yeah, I don't want to do, like, I would like to do tests on other companies, but I'm just not trying to be on that. I don't want to be on anyone's radar. Maybe he talked to someone at Tesla. I think knowing Haddix, he probably did. I think Haddix is smarter than that to do it. He's usually in here. I don't know where he's at today. He usually joins. Well, we can make search and destroy into that, but you can come on Saturday and we can build something if you want. Whoever's asking for it. Oh yeah, he did say he was gonna go somewhere yesterday. Okay, our Oath is getting kind of boring. Let's see if there's let's look at Yahoo a little bit more. Oh, so actually, I don't know if who was it that shared me the link for TLS? Because Sam has the same. I think that's Sam's. So before Sam comes on, let's go do his profile really quick. Where is Sam? Is it ERBB or is it EBRR? What? Yeah, there we go. So he is doing this, right? So we can do Yahoo.com on here too. But there's a lot of wildcard and a lot of garbage that we can't really access. There's a lot of stuff on here. I'm surprised to see music.yahoo.com still showing up. There's a lot of corp stuff on here. I'm not going to touch Dragonfly or anything with VPN in them, but let's see what BF1 brings up. Or sports. It's a good one. Sports. I've seen a lot of API docs on sports. Fantasy sports. But see, the problem with this is like it's going to be insanely hard to approach any of these because every single one of these are going to have the same thing. And I don't think any of these are. I wonder if it's worth like hitting this at some point. Maybe next week we can do that. But cleaning it up is going to be, maybe not. I can just set through this. I could just go sed. And I could do this, I think. Yeah, and I can just also take out this thing. I wonder if it's worth like going after this. That didn't work, did it? Uh-oh. Okay, whatever. We can just do it this way. What the f... Why can't I go... What in the actual... Said, God damn it. Alright. So what I was thinking was like... Hold on. One more. Okay, so what I was thinking was like... Is it worth... Well... I would have to do it with JQ and get results maybe, and then... Let's see if that makes a difference. Okay, that kind of made a difference. 1, 2, maybe more. Nope. Hold on, let's see what this looks like when we do results only. Oops. Okay, so I can do, wait, results like that, and then I could do set right after it. So here we go. And then give it one more space. No, too many spaces, I think. I don't need the spaces anymore, do I? No, it's cool. So there's like 903 IPs. I wonder if it's worth just like, oh, you guys had cut. Yeah, it's okay. I didn't have to do cut. But I wonder if like it's worth it for us to just have directory search, just go after all of these for what we're looking for. Should we try it out? There's a lot of them. We can do like HTTPS for every single one of them. Let's do HTTP. I feel like it would be better to do HTTP. Nah, fuck it. I'm going to HTTPS. And then we'll have it do like 50 JSON and like timeout is 2, and we'll have it do like yahoo.txt. Oh, screw you too. Oh, that's why. And there we go. It's not going super fast, but we can multiprocess it. I wonder if it's worth doing this at all. I don't think it's worth it at all, to be honest. But I want to try it out and see what we get. Cool. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be much. I think I'm just doing all of Yahoo in this one, right? Shit, let's do it one more time. Sorry. This is just sports at Yahoo, not even just Yahoo. So there's way more on Yahoo, I bet you. Like, before I even do that, let's see how many of them are Yahoo. Yeah, I think it's going to be a metric fuck ton. Yeah, 2,000 of them. 21, wait, is that 2,000 of them. So I think like, I don't know, like 2,000 IPs are a lot of them. But I think we can go through it before we're done interviewing Sam about this. So I'm going to go YOLO and do this. And I'm going to close my eyes and assume this is going to go well. There we go. You left a dot there. Yeah, so it just catches everything.yahoo.com. So if it's like something yahoo.com doesn't show up. I did this. So like, I don't want this to show up. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want screw yahoo.com to show up or something like that. Cool. So like, let's see, ouroath.com. What time is it? Oh shit, I'm late. I'm a shitty host. I'm late. Coming, Sam. Okay. So, Sam's waiting. While he's waiting, we're going to let this run. We will minimize this. I gotta switch to my right layout, which I can't find. There we go. There's chat, there's me, and there is Sam. Sam, how's it going, my friend? Oh yeah, you're probably watching the stream. How's it going, dude? Not bad. How you doing, dude? Yeah, we can hear you perfect. Actually, the chat can't hear you really, so there we go. Chat, can you hear Sam okay? I think they can hear you. How's it going, dude?
Good.
Thanks for joining me today. I wanted to like talk to you about some of the stuff you've done. We were literally just looking at your scan. I just ran a mass scan across every IP that you had yahoo.com on.
Yep. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. Didn't even think about it today to do it, to be honest, but before we do any of that, let's get into like who you are first and how you. Let's introduce yourself first, because I don't know how much of you I can intro, so I'll let you do your introduction yourself.
Thanks. So I'm a full-time software developer up in Cambridge, Massachusetts, or I should say just outside of Cambridge, Massachusetts, and I really just do this in my free time. I use this as a way to learn more, really, about how the internet works and about security. And it turns out, I've been a little bit successful. And I built a couple of cool tools along the way. I don't know.
How'd you hear about bug bounties?
Sure. So this kind of all goes back to Defcon, actually. I met Brett or Zayat there through a Defcon team. We actually ended up competing against each other for a couple of years, and then we ended up actually competing on the same team. And you
guys won a couple of times, right?
Yeah, we combination of skill and luck. We won a couple of times, and one day he was like, "Hey, you should do this CTF," and it was a CTF for the HackerOne New York City event, and I actually won that one. I think I saw the blog post up on blog.urbysam.com.
Yep.
And that was, I believe, at the start of 2017 or maybe fall 2017 or so. And I attended that event, and it didn't do well, but
that was a New York event, right? Or was it Vegas?
So that was Well, so he had actually invited me previously to one night at one of the Vegas events, and I showed up there and I had absolutely no idea what I was doing, and I didn't find any bugs, but really those two events really showed me, I think, I feel like what I needed to do to get better, and I really just use them as learning opportunities, and I've been a little bit successful since then.
Yeah. So that was your first exposure to bug bounties, was kind of through Brett. So, and for people that don't know Brett, we're talking about Zayat, the guy that won't come on my stream.
Yep. Yeah. No. It was really complete chance encounter meeting him. Really, my first Defcon, I just walked right into where everyone was working on puzzles, and he just happened to be there as well.
Yeah. Well, how did you get started in hacking though? Like, what made you go into hacking in general? Like, even before Defcon, like, how did you get exposed to hacking?
So I've actually always been interested in security. So this was probably like 12 to 15 years ago now. I was, mowing lawns and doing some janitorial work for my dad to make cash in high school. And I would listen to the Security Now podcast, which I think is still on. I'm honestly not sure. It's been a little while since I've listened to it myself. But it was a spinoff of This Week in Tech. And
Okay.
so, I was just like, oh, hey, I'm interested in security. Like, I'm going to listen to this. And the way that he described security topics, very, very complex security topics in a very simple way that allowed me to understand how cool and creative they were, really got me hooked. And so in college, I really tried to do a security focus. And I really thought I was going to go into cryptography, but I really didn't have the math skills to cut it.
Uh,
And so I really, to some extent, I ended up as a software developer. And I've really enjoyed doing software development, but I'm still interested in security stuff, and I really try to build things that enhance the security of the internet.
yeah, I mean, I definitely understand the crypto thing, dude. I really wanted to do crypto in college too, but the math skills, dude, you have to be a math genius. I feel like when you go down the crypto path. So
Yeah, it's actually
I definitely understand where you're coming from.
yeah, it's actually a double major undergrad in math and computer engineering,
Oh
and
shit,
I nearly failed all of my math courses senior year.
insane. Yeah, I believe me, I definitely understand. I've taken a couple of math classes a couple of times, like more than once. um, so I definitely side with you with that. So like, you learned about hacking, you did that through college, and then how'd you hear about like the Defcon stuff?
So I was working at Cisco at the time, and it was actually kind of a cool job because I was working on integrating hardware crypto
Hmm.
chips. And one of my friends came up to me and was like, hey, like, you have the mindset for DEF CON. You're going to love this place. Like, you should definitely go next year. And I actually got them to sponsor it that year. And so I flew out there, and it's really, I walked right in essentially and met Brett.
Wow. And then that's when you pretty much got roped in to come to H1702, and then from 702, oh, I may have, hold on one second. Oh, I clicked on something wrong. Oops, my bad. I meant to run an ad on people. Hold on. Give it 2 seconds. Gotta go. Sorry, guys. I didn't mean to run an ad on you halfway through the interview. My bad. I stopped the interview for you guys. There we go. um, so you went to you hear about security. You go through college. You hear about DefCon. You go to DefCon. You hear about you meet Brett. Through Brett, you get invited to H1702. You came to H1702, kind of like confused, right? Like it's your first time being at any of these bug bounty stuff. You went back. You did the CTF. You came to H1 212.
Yeah, I believe that was the first Hack the Air Force event. And really, what those two events showed me is that I really just didn't have this, like, it's one of those things where it's like I had the background to, or I knew what the folks there were doing, but I didn't have the practical skills or the speed that they had more than anything else. Like, I didn't use Burp Suite back then. I was doing everything command line, which trying to fuzz targets is a bit slow.
Yeah, yeah. Do you remember when you and I met in New York and what we talked about?
uh, I remember meeting you there for the first time. I don't remember what we talked about though.
So I have a really good memory. I don't know what it is. I remember the most random shit about the most random, like not random people, but randomly I remember shit about people, right? So
Yep.
you, myself, Brett, and I think I want to say John was there with us. The four of us went to, um, we went to TGI Friday or like
Oh
some.
God, yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah, I
think it
remember
was
that.
some
Yep,
random
yep.
restaurant, like some like huge. We're in the middle of fucking New York, and we decided to go to a franchise restaurant like that. And so we went there, and then you said something along the lines of, "I want to become an MVH at some point."
Oh God, you're right. Yeah, yeah.
You
Okay, yeah.
literally
No, I remember
straight
this
looked
now.
me in the eye and you said, "I want to become an MVH at some point." And you became an MVH at what event?
This year at H1415,
Airbnb.
the
Oh yeah,
yep.
go ahead and tell everybody your Airbnb story about me, please. Go ahead. I want you to I want you to rub that in one more time. Please go ahead. So what happened at Airbnb? What did you discover that I missed on Airbnb that was super easy or
Um, Without going into too many details, there was something that Ben didn't find because he didn't have his email server configured correctly. And it was one of those vulnerabilities where you had to get sent an email in order to exploit it, if I remember correctly. And he just simply didn't have his email server configured correctly, so he wasn't receiving emails at the time. And you got an error back when you triggered the vulnerability, but it actually worked. And he missed it, I believe,
and how much was the
because of
bounty
that.
for that?
Uh, it was I don't recall exactly. I could probably go look it up now,
I
but it
can
was
tell you what
somewhere
it was. It
between
was 9K because
yeah,
it really
somewhere
hurt.
around there.
It really hurt. And then you went to show and tell, and you started with "Sorry, Ben, but here's a phone that I found."
I had to. I'm sorry.
No, it's perfect. Man, it shows that like no matter how much like this is one of the things that I try to get across to people is like it doesn't matter who the number one hacker is on the program. Like, dude, I missed so many bugs that you found after coming to Airbnb's program and Brett found afterwards. And look at Angalog right now. Look at Ron. Ron Chen is like I think he's number one on Airbnb now. He passed me on Airbnb. He's
Oh,
just
really? Wow.
he's still finding stuff on Airbnb. It's the point of it is like there is plenty of bugs out there. I think like you can still find some stuff. Everyone's different. Everyone has a different background. Um, you still could go and find bugs. There's new stuff coming out every day, and it's a prime example of it between you and I doing Airbnb.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's definitely a bit of luck to it. It's just where you happen to look first. Everyone has to pick a first target, but then there's also a huge skill component to it where we come from very different backgrounds. We have different toolboxes, so to speak, and
Yeah,
we'll just do different things.
yeah, I agree. So let's talk about it a little bit more. Let's dive into like how long have you been hacking for?
Uh, I've only been doing so.
Not
It's a good
security
question.
hacking, like offensive wise.
I mean, I've been doing CTF and CTF related things really since college, honestly.
Okay,
But it's only recently that I've started doing kind of bug bounty related things or working against the DoD vulnerability disclosure program.
cool. And you do you still hack on the DoD?
Oh yeah, no, my first bug I found I think was actually against the Heck the Pentagon program before the DoD even had a vulnerability disclosure program.
Oh shit! Wait, you just went to the Georgia for a DoD thing.
Yeah, so that was an award ceremony for Hack the Army 2.0, which is kind of the second part of their Hack the Army program. And so they part of the premise of that event was that they'd invite three folks who did well out to a live event afterwards, and they promised us like a civilians versus military type event, but unfortunately, they just due to timing, they couldn't really make that work. But it was still cool to be there for the opening of a new facility. I believe it's a kind of a it's their Defense Digital Services offsite office.
That's awesome. You got an award for it or something, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I officially got third place there, and I'm really happy I got that because I'm competing against people who know what they're doing, or I feel
Right.
that way.
Cool. What was the award for?
So it was really just based on who found the most bugs, and there was a bunch of scope rules, obviously,
Right.
but uh, yeah, that's what it really came down to in the end.
That's cool. So let's talk about education. You said you went to school. Did you have a focus on security when you went to school?
So we, I went to school at UMass Amherst undergrad, and there really wasn't the opportunity there necessarily. There was a
Yeah.
security engineering course, and the professor was on sabbatical, so there really, there just wasn't a course. I did take the computer science cryptography course out there, and that was probably the closest I got to it.
Wow. So what about like certificates? Do you have any OSCP? I hate to ask CEH. Anything like that?
No, if I want to learn something, I try and go find a way to do it. I don't know how to best describe it. For me. The one thing that really struck me as surprising was the first time I sat down to exploit. I think this actually might have been one of the challenges that Brett created
Right.
through his Potato Planet website. Uh, I'll try and track down a link and I'll send it over to you. He created these challenges called the website was Potato Planet. I think he did it with one of his coworkers, and
Yeah.
he put a SQL injection on there, and SQL map didn't pick it up, so he made it so the SQL map wouldn't pick it up, so you had to do it manually. And you sit down to do it, and you realize that, or I realized myself, it's like I had no idea what I was doing, and that to me was like a really like a big learning moment. It's like you can learn all the theory you want, but until you sit down and try and exploit something yourself, it's like you don't really fully understand it. Or at least I don't feel that way.
Well, how did you? So the SQL, it's a good example. How did you learn SQL? SQL injection, I mean.
it's one of those things that I've been doing web development since I was in high school, and so I've kind of known about it since then. But it's one thing to know that it's a problem, and it's another thing to try and exploit it.
Right, absolutely. Well, how did you learn about the exploiting part? Is what I'm trying to get at. Like, what did you use to learn these different resources?
Just Googling the crap out of it.
Really?
I just it's one of those things where I'll read a blog post on it and I'll just try a bunch of different things until something works, and then from there, this is 5 to 10 hours later, I've hopefully learned something.
And like, again, just to like make sure I understand this properly, you don't have any certificates that helped you with hacking. It was just self-learning and the self-improvement aspect of it.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's entirely accurate. And it's one of the things that I try to do myself is when I see an exploit or I see some research, I think to myself, like, what could I have done to catch this or to detect this, especially in places where I know I've looked before and didn't see something.
So let's talk about just hacking in general, like bug bounty related stuff. Like, before we get into like the technical aspects of like what you do and how you do it, how do you stay motivated, Sam? Like, it's got to be hard to, like, you have a family, you have a day job, you are doing research. I've seen you did it. We'll talk about your research in a little bit. Before even motivation, what's the life balance like? What do you do to balance it out? Like, do you have a routine? Do you hack on particular days? Do you have a dedicated day to hacking? Like, how do you balance that with work and life and then bug bounties on top of it?
It's a good question. I mean, I really treat it as a hobby. So I just try and put in the time when I can, and it tends to pay off quite literally. So it tends to be worthwhile to do it. But I really just do it in my free time, or if I have a night free, I'll sit down in front of my computer, and 5 hours later, hopefully we'll come up with a bug.
So are you just like randomly hacking? You don't have a routine, right? Like you don't have you don't sit down and say, I want to hack 20 hours a week, or do you on average spend any, like, do you have an average hours per week you put in, or just literally like whenever you feel like it, you go and hack on something?
I try to not overdo it, especially so during live events, I will put in a lot of hours. Like I'll put in, I'll be working every night, leading up to those events.
Okay.
But for weeks in some cases, depending on the event, but it's really outside of that. It's really just I try not to kill myself. It's probably the best way to describe it. If I'm working a full day and then I come home and I work for 5 hours every day, I'm going to end up really burnt out at the end of the week.
Speaking of burning out, we'll get into it. Let's do it. I want to build up to this. So, live hacking events, right? It's a good thing you bring it up, because I want to understand. Like, you just said you work every night once the bug bounties for the programs for the live hacking events launch, right? How do you prepare for a bug bounty event like that? Like, they drop you a brand new scope, a brand new program in some cases you have never looked at, and you have a week to do everything, or 2 weeks to do everything. How do you, step one to getting there, what do you do? Today is a scoping call. You have the scope today given to you. What does Sam do after that?
That's a good question. I have a bunch of I don't want to call it automation. It's really not automation. It's just like a bunch of scripts I'll run, which pulls from data sources like the ones you mentioned earlier on today's stream, and I just try and get as much usable information in front of my eyes as possible, and then from there, I just try and iterate through it. And for me, it's finding the ability to say something is vulnerable, not vulnerable, as quick as possible, and the sooner I can make that determination, even if it's incorrect, I can move on to something else. And so I find myself getting really stuck on places where I'm just really not familiar with the technology used or the infrastructure, and it's hard for me to make that determination.
Okay, and then, so how many hours do you work? You said you work every night. So are you putting like 5 hours a night, 2 hours a night, or you do an hour of like running your scripts, come back to it, and kind of look and pick it up? And
I mean, it tends to be pretty spread out, but it's like in the lead up to these live events, I'll put in 40 hours of my free time probably, which is pretty much all of it, for a couple weeks.
Okay, now speaking of burnouts, so 40 hours a week on top of your day job, you've got to
over a couple weeks, but yeah,
you gotta get burnt out, right? Like it's gotta get to a point when you're like tired of looking at the HackerOne platform, your terminal, whatever, right? How do you get out of that? Like, how do you balance it? How do you get out of the burnouts?
no, it's a good question. I play video games a lot, or I'll go rock climbing, or I just try and get away from it or take a step back from it.
Well,
And for me, especially when I was in college, when I was kind of going through, in my opinion, it's more stressful times in my life,
mm-hmm.
I found myself just taking Saturdays completely off. And I just say, like, Saturday, like, I will do the minimum I need to survive, but like, I'm not going to do anything past that.
Okay. And then do you go through these phases where you don't find anything? Like you absolutely can't find any bugs no matter how much you try? Or has that never happened to you?
Oh yeah, no. After New Year's time last year, I was really convinced that I would never find another bug. I was like, well, that was fun. I had a good year. I got lucky this year. Had some really awesome live events. Just it was a good run. And then this year I'm more successful than it was last year. So
yeah,
I don't think I sent through a single bug in January.
Yeah, the reason I ask is I'm literally going through that now. It's like I'm finding small bugs here and there, and I'm literally thinking that like, okay, I had a good run with bug bounties. It's been 5 years, maybe time for a change. I'm not finding anything anymore. I don't know if I've lost focus or if I'm just going through this bad streak or whatever you want to call it. But at the end of the day, like, how do you get out of it, dude? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you have to snap out of it somehow.
Yeah, I mean, I find myself going back to the DoD VDP because I'm just very familiar with it, and there's just such a huge scope there. And like Yahoo's also a huge scope, even though it's got it a lot harder, honestly, in the past couple of years.
So you don't care about the bounty aspect. It's mostly you go and find a program that you're familiar with just to get that nice bug to get to kind of get that confidence back.
Yeah, exactly. Like you find a really cool bug somewhere, and that's gonna feel good, regardless of whether or not you get paid. In my opinion, anyways.
Yeah, makes sense. No, it makes sense. I mean, I don't have that program anymore. Yahoo was that program, but I stream on Yahoo all the time now, so it's not the same. But yeah. Airbnb, it's been super hard now, right? Like, I don't understand what Ron Chan's doing, but he's just owning Airbnb left and right. So I haven't found that yet, but let's move on.
I'm not really familiar with what he's doing either. I'm a little bit familiar with some of the platform changes they're making. It really feels like they're going to more of like a GraphQL world, which is honestly hard to hack on than what they were doing before.
I agree. I've seen a lot of their V3 stuff is all GraphQL, which is good for them, bad for me, I guess, or bad for a lot of us.
Yeah, definitely good for them.
So let's talk about hacking a little bit. Do you think that a formal education is a requirement or a good supplement for when it comes down to doing hacking, especially bug bounties?
I think it has much more to do with motivation than anything else. Like if you're motivated to learn more about this world, like you're going to very quickly. But if you're not motivated to learn how these things work from a technical perspective, or you're just here to make some quick cash, you're just not going to do well, in my opinion. When it comes to a formal background, though, like that can help. Like having to take a course on this, you're going to be exposed to a lot of things. But at the same time, sitting down at the end of the night and trying it out yourself is going to be where you're actually going to learn it.
So, like, for someone who's just completely a beginner right now, how could they learn all these different topics that are out there? How do they start learning, do you think?
I've been a huge fan of CTFs. I have a Defcon background. So, the HackerOne, Hacker 101, I believe, work, I think is really amazing that you guys are doing. But then also I just look for, easier puzzles, and, there's way more resources online now, which is awesome than there were, when I was in college, for sure.
I agree.
Web hacking really wasn't a thing when I was in college, and I wish it was.
Yeah,
or at least not in my world.
Yeah, I mean, I wish bug bounties were a thing when I was 19, 20, dude. Like making 100K at 19, that would have been the dream, right?
Yep.
Do you think like having a coding background is something you should have for a bug bounty hunter?
I think it helps. I've built websites in a lot of, or worked full time as a developer in a lot of the languages that these websites are using. So I'm familiar with them more than I am in like ASP.NET. I think is my favorite example because you see a lot of websites in ASP.NET or
Yeah.
ASP. I'm not sure what the right term is there. And I just wish I was if I had actually worked in that for a few months to a year or something like that. I feel like I'd be more familiar with what to look for from a security perspective. And I feel like I'm missing easy bugs because I'm not as familiar with the programming language itself.
So like if somebody asks you, let's say I'm a new hacker and I'm just getting started
Mm-hmm.
in bug bounties and I want to learn programming languages while I'm learning about security. What should I learn?
I've been a huge fan of Go recently, or Golang, because it's so simple to learn, and it compared to other languages has fewer. It's a sorry. Let me rephrase that. It's very it tries to be as straightforward as possible, whereas a lot of other programming languages are either more scripting oriented, or if you look at like C++, there's a lot more features there that are just going to make it harder to learn the programming language itself. So I've been a huge fan of Go recently, and actually one of the ways that I feel like became good at programming myself was I used something called Project Euler, which I believe is still online today. It's projecteuler.net, I
Okay.
think, and they have you solve math problems, and they're math problems that require computation to solve, and that for me was really like if I wanted to learn a new programming language, maybe 5 to 10 years ago, I would have just gone and solved a few of the problems in that.
Do you think Go is easier than Python?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, you have fewer features, it's more performant, and you don't need to worry about tabs.
Very true. So, would you recommend someone to just completely skip Python if it comes down to scripting and learning a programming language and just straight going for Go?
It's a hard question. I mean, I think I would honestly. I think it really depends what you're trying to do. Python is better at certain things. Like in particular, a lot of the exploit world is really built around building binary exploits in
Right.
Python or crafting packets using Scapy. But really outside of that, the I really see a lot more of the world, like the programming world, web server world, heading towards Golang because it has some really nice features that were really built with running services in mind.
Yeah, I've been very intrigued by Go. I don't know anything about Go at all. I mean, I don't know Python either. I think I've been very open about saying that I don't do a lot of coding. I mean, I understand. I do Bash. I do a little bit of Ruby, but I understand programming languages a little bit, but I'm not efficiently good at doing any of them. So it's good to hear Go is a better option than Python, but still haven't picked which one I want to do. Um,
So, I mean, the reason I find myself using Golang, at least for a lot of the automation that I do, anyways, is that you can spin off. They're kind of like it's a green thread model, which is kind of like a technical term for just like a really cheap thread you can create, and then that allows you to then just run something in that thread, and you don't have to worry about multi-threading for the most part. You just have to run code in that single threaded context, and you can really spin off as many of these as you'd like, and that makes for very good scanning tools.
all right. Well, then speaking of scanning, you have this tool. Since you don't have your screen shared, I'm gonna see if I can show it really quickly.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry.
Um, hold on, let me find a link. Chat, can you link me really quick so I don't have to look for it? We're just looking at it. It's on the here. Actually, it should be right here somewhere in that terminal. There we go. So it's tls.bufferover.run,
Yep.
and you wrote this all in Go.
Yeah. So the front end interface for this and the sorting technology was just a Bash script and some Golang, and so the TLS scanner as well was actually ready to go, although I didn't open source that. The web server side of it is the same web server that's running the different endpoint, which is a DNS.bufferover.run.
Okay.
So if you change TLS there to DNS, the URL, that's the Rapid7 dataset that I put online at the start of the year.
Okay, very cool. So and then
That
using
one
this
has
as this is one of your sources you're using.
Yeah, so that it's the same web server, but in that case, I'm just pulling from the March Rapid7 dataset. I actually update that a little bit because it's a bit old at this point.
And then how are you doing your scans for the TLS one?
So in that case, I actually built a TLS scanner that really does two things. The first thing it does is it mass scans port 443.
Okay.
And just looks for open ports. Nothing I can write is going to be faster than mass scan. That can run. It's gonna run pretty quickly. And then I created a Go program that connects to. So I don't know. Should I go over the TLS handshake a little bit?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So before I go into what I do next with port 443, I think it's important to cover how the TLS handshake works. And so when I, as a client, connect to a website, I perform a TLS handshake. And so what that really means is that my client sends a client hello, and then the server sends back a server certificate and some other information. So, when you have a certificate error, this is where that's coming from. And then they do a Diffie-Hellman key exchange, which is kind of the crypto to initiate the secure connection. And then once they've resolved the same secret on both sides of the connection using this handshake, data can start flowing, and that's when you'll get the web page or HTTP sent over the TLS connection. Okay. And so I built a tool that simply terminates the TLS handshake after the server sends back its certificate. And that allows me to disconnect the connection really quickly, but that makes a really good, that means that I have to use very little resources on my part to scan the entire internet.
So you essentially are scanning the internet for 443s, pulling the cert, and then parsing it.
Yep, exactly. And so, I just send a TLS alert that says that, I'm looking to terminate this handshake after I do this initial, I send my client hello, sends back server certificate, and then my scanner kills the connection. And I wrote this in Go, so, I'm able to do something on the order of like 100 or 200 Go routines at a time, all from a very small server. If I were to do a full TLS handshake, I'd only be able to do a handful, maybe a 10 per second.
And how long does it take you to scan this whole thing?
The entire process takes about 72 hours, and so it does it once a week. So this is pretty live data.
It's pretty cool. How'd you come up with the idea?
So that's a longer story. So this really goes back to Defcon, actually, and this is something that I work pretty closely with Brett on and a few other folks on our team. Is we wanted to monitor the internet for the guy who was running the competition. His name was Loster1057 is his handle, and we wanted to monitor the internet for websites that he was creating. And so we actually set up some really cool infrastructure where any .codes or .worlds domain name that got registered, we were actually scanning for, or at least connecting to anyways, and scanning for, he would kind of put his handle and everything, so we would be scanning for his handle. And so this really is like a few generations from that. That's kind of its origin. And this is really the first instance of it that I felt comfortable enough with performance of to put online.
Yeah, I remember Brett talking about that. It's like, yeah, this guy's like spinning up random websites, and we want to be ahead of it, and while being ethical and finding these domains. And then later on, we built something that I'm not going to talk about, but we were scanning some stuff because of it. We were pulling certs in Python using one of his tools, and we were scanning a certain range of IP addresses. And it was like, it was helping us stay ahead of the game a little bit. But you did this, so you've been doing this for a while, and then you did a presentation about this at the packet sniffing village at Defcon. Is that correct?
Yeah. So this is the endpoint here is really what I gave a whole talk around at the Packet Hacking Village this year, and I think the talk actually just went online a few
Yeah.
days ago.
Yeah, I think someone just mentioned saying, someone just literally said they were just watching you last night. I think the talks have been on for a while. What was the topic of the talk again?
So it was really on around how I built this, and it's called Hunting Certificates and Servers, I believe. And so there's actually a really funny backstory here is that I actually got, or I should say we all got actually trolled by somebody. So outside of our team, there was only, yep, that's it. There was only about 5 people or so who knew that we were doing this. And one of the folks who was associated with Defcon actually set up a fake website, on GoDaddy, really under the .codes TLD, and really trolled us is probably the best way to describe it.
That's cool. That's funny though. Yeah, this is good stuff. I gotta have to watch this. I never got to come to your talk, but I've been, obviously I've been using your tool. I hit you up the other day. I was like, hey, do you have a scan of this IP range? And you're like, oh yeah, I just got done today. Here, go on the website and use it. So yeah, I put that in the chat. If anyone wants to check it out, you should.
Yeah, so it also goes into a bit more technical detail on kind of how this all works.
Do you talk about how you do the TLS stuff on here?
Yeah, yep. I think there's a couple slides in there that talk about early TLS termination.
Oops. Cool. I'll have to check this out. I'm going to leave this open.
Oh, yeah.
But that's interesting. Very cool. So has this been a moneymaker for you? Like, has this helped with bug bounties?
There's been at least a couple of bugs that I found essentially strictly using this, but this is just kind of one of my sources that I pull in. So I don't know if I trace everything back to here necessarily. But the example that I gave actually in the slide deck was actually a DoD VDP bug where I found a old Oracle WebLogic server that was sitting out there. That one of the interesting things about that is actually it wasn't the RC exploit didn't just work out of the box. You had to do it blind, and so I had to prove that it worked blind, and so I just injected a sleep, and that slept for 12 seconds, and so that actually did get disclosed.
Interesting. Yeah, I just pulled that up right now. So you pretty much could go on here and you don't even have to search for a website. You could just go .mail.
Yeah, and I set so in order to build this and put it online, I set some size limits, and I set the size limits around this to be pretty, what's the term? Lenient. So the other endpoint, the DNS.bufferover.run, there are much stricter size limitations because I was worried that this was going to get abused. And I actually, one of the funny things about this is that these actually or at least the DNS endpoint got pulled into a mess. So I actually have been getting quite a bit of traffic from that.
Wow. Yeah, I see your terms and services. You do not encourage illegal activity. And it's a shame that people use it that way, but this is good stuff. What made you want to open source it? So I had this. So eventually, once I had the DNS endpoint built, the Rapid7 endpoint built, I found myself sharing it with more and more people because searching those Rapid7 logs, they're so useful, but they're so hard to search. And so I found myself sharing it with more and more people in the community, and I reached the point where I was just like, I should just open source this and see what happens. Yeah. And so I did that, and it was well received. So I did the same with the TLS data. That's cool. Good for you, man. I mean, I don't think a lot of people are into sharing nowadays, but it's good to see you not only presenting this as a research and going to Defcon and presenting it, you also open sourced it, and I know a lot of folks that are using this already. How do you feel about people using this as in other automation? Like, if I were to build something on top of this, would you be cool with it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the big thing, especially for the TLS endpoint. So for the DNS endpoint, you have to agree to Rapid7's terms. I'm allowed to reuse the data, but you still have to abide by their terms, which essentially just say you can't resell it. I think it's a big one. And then similar with the TLS endpoint, I put a similar terms of service on that as well. So really, as long as you're not reselling it, I really, to some extent, I actually don't want to know what folks are doing with this because I don't want to have to start putting more restrictions around it.
Are there any plans of like fine tuning the searches at all? Like, or no? You just want it to be something is this designed a particular way for a reason, or do you plan on like doing more with it?
I actually don't really have any plans at this point. The reason I built it the way I did is to really quickly identify subdomains. And there are you can take this another route and use this to search for certain strings and domains, like if you want to find like every Jenkins instance online. But I really didn't feel like that was really in the spirit of what I was trying to accomplish.
Right. Yeah, sounds good. So everyone that is wondering about any of this, the link is in the chat again. You can also look it up by looking up Sam's name and looking up what was the title for it again? It's Packet Hacking Village. It's right here. And hunting certificates and servers. Great talk. So far it looks really dope. We'll check it out later.
It's also a bit quick. I did speed through it a little bit, so it's only 16 minutes.
I mean, it's short and to the point, though.
Yep.
Cool.
Exactly.
Let's talk about what else do I have on here. How am I doing on time? What time is it? Oh, okay. We're right about on time. Do you use are there any tools in your, what I call it, tool belt, your hacking tool belt, that you rely on a daily basis outside of Burp? Because I feel like everyone's going to say Burp Suite.
Yeah, definitely. I really, I rely on some of the tools that I've built that I've shared here, but then also Masscan pretty heavily.
Okay.
Rather than trying to end mapping or anything myself, I'll just come up with a equivalent Masscan that works, even if it's at a very low rate. I find it'll still run quicker than anything else I could build. And then I'll then pipe that into some other tool, like Meg is one of my favorites.
Okay. So you use Meg a lot.
Tom Nom Nom, yeah. I don't know if you've covered that on the site or on the stream before.
Yeah, I had Tom actually come and show us how he used all his tools. So you use Meg, and you pipe things to Meg, I assume.
Yeah, or just kind of string it all together with, I find myself using Python actually for kind of data format conversions, and then just getting into the right tool in the right format.
So are you using like Meg? So are you running these tools through Python to get the results and then format it for yourself?
Yeah. So one of the end result that I try and produce is really just a list of what's out there, and I just try and get it in a format that groups together similar pages. So I actually end up sorting a lot of stuff by page size, and from there I really just look for things that are interesting to me or that I think might be interesting to look at. And by grouping it together means that once I look at something in that group, likely that everything else will be the same and I can just move on.
Cool. So usually when I get to the end of the stream, I ask you a series of questions, and they're super easy to answer. And then we go to this wordplay thing that I call, and I throw some random words at you, and then you tell me the first thing that comes up to your mind.
All right.
But before I get into that, everyone's asking when they can ask questions. So just keep your questions at the end. I'll open it up so everyone could ask all their questions. And don't overthink it. They're easy questions. I'm not gonna throw any curveballs at you. By the way, outside of web hacking, do you do any mobile or reverse engineering or anything else? Binary, anything? I'm
not any good at it. I have a root phone, and I can run Frida, and that's about as far as I've got there. And then I know how to use IDA. I'm not gonna come out and say that I really know what I'm doing.
Well, okay, before I switch over, this is something I forgot to ask you. Do you have any other hobbies? I mean, you do have any hobbies, but what are some of your hobbies outside of anything related to computers? You said you do rock climbing, I think?
Yeah, so I really, if I'm not in front of a computer, you'll find me probably rock climbing or on a snowboard.
You snowboard?
So I do try and get outside, as much as I can, or as much as time permits anyways.
Cool. All right, let's get into it. What was your first bug bounty program you hacked on?
Hacked the Pentagon.
What was your first vulnerability you found, like bug type?
It's a cross-site scripting vulnerability. I'm ashamed to admit that.
I wouldn't be ashamed, man. Everyone's got to start something. I think that's the same with mine. What was your first bounty? What program?
Yeah, once again, back to Pentagon. It was $150 and I was ecstatic.
What'd you do with it? Did you do anything fun?
I don't think so, no. I just sat on it. Yeah.
Have you done any fun purchases? What's your best purchase you have done with your bug bounty money?
I really, I don't spend any of it. I own a condo, and so arguably it's going to the condo.
So you're just revamping your place pretty much.
No, like going to pay my mortgage.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fair.
Yeah, no, I don't do anything wild with any of the money I make, unfortunately.
All right. Well, next Vegas, we'll make that. We'll change that next Vegas.
Yeah, right.
Are there any hackers you collaborate with? Anybody
Yes.
you want to shout out to?
Alan W. Smeagol's Hyatt. I think I've collaborated with you on a few bugs before. Well, I think that's it primarily.
Are there any wish list of people that you want to work with?
Not that I can think of. I mean, given enough time, I'd love to collaborate with everybody, especially at these live events, because it's the amount that I learn when I have the opportunity to collaborate with somebody is huge, or is enormous. Sorry, and at the end of the day, like that's why I'm there. But given limitations of time and just really time and just the number of people, it's a little difficult to talk with everybody or hang out with everybody or hack with everybody.
I mean, it's a pretty big. It's become a very, very big community. So I definitely understand.
Yeah, definitely.
What's your favorite tool?
Burp allows me to go faster and just do more things, so I really have to say burp.
Cool. Let's jump in the easier part of this.
Okay.
One word, you can say a word back or a sentence, whatever is easier for you. Let's start with Defcon.
Puzzles.
CTFs.
Learning opportunity.
The hacker community.
I'm talking between awesome and committed.
All right. Zayat.
Mentor.
Really? That's a very good way to put Brett. Smeagol's.
I'm talking between asshole and mentor.
Dude's a fucking troll.
Sorry, I don't know if I can swear out here. I apologize.
You can say whatever Sam, on Saturdays I have a swear jar, but on Sundays you can say whatever the fuck you please, my friend. HackerOne.
Resource.
HackerOne's live hacking events.
Opportunity.
Collaboration.
Opportunity.
Airbnb.
That's a tough one. I mean, I feel like I've got lucky with the bugs I found there, so I want to say lucky, but that doesn't come off right. Fun to hack on API.
That's a very good place to learn about API hacking. I'm not gonna lie, man. If it wasn't for Airbnb, I wouldn't have learned how to do API fuzzing. I agree with that. That's a good way to put it. And last one, the DoD program.
Learning opportunity.
Cool. One last one, actually. It's scanning the whole internet, dude.
Challenge.
Challenge. Oh, I bet.
Challenge to do that in under a week.
Cool. Well, this is where I usually open up the chat. If you have asked any questions, throw them in here. I'll start with your randomest question. He says, so if you have posted any questions before that, repost them now, chat. What's your proudest duplicate you've found? Mine is, I found an open reader rig, chain it with SSR, found a way to upload files, and pop the shell to get a dupe. Oh, that's tough. What is yours? Do you have any like really, really messed up dupes you've gotten that you were unhappy about? or you're at least proud of?
Honestly, not too many. I mean, I've definitely been duped myself, and then I've had people duped to my crits, and that just feels bad because you put in a lot of time
Yeah.
and effort into finding those things generally. And once you reach that point, and you go to bed like super excited that you found that, just to wake up the next morning and see it got marked as a duplicate can hurt a little bit. But there's none in particular that come to mind.
Someone's asking what's a truly entry-level job in security. It's not a field that has entry-level jobs, but trying to better understand how to transition. Do you have any advice for that?
I mean, it kind of depends if you're already industry or not. I mean, if you're already a software developer, your company probably has a security team, so just go and talk with them, and they're probably looking for help and probably swamp themselves. But if you're not already in the industry, it can be a little bit hard to get in. And if I was hiring for a entry level security job and somebody were to come to me and say, oh yeah, I have a bachelor's in computer science and I'm interested in security, and then somebody were to come to me and say, I have a bachelor's in computer science and I've done all these CTFs, I would be much more interested in hiring the person who's even done poorly in CTFs, but just talks to me about how they're interested in doing them.
Cool. Have you dealt with? Oh, I forgot to ask about this question. Damn it. Have you dealt with imposter syndrome? How did you deal with it, and what would be your advice for people dealing with it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I listened to Andre's. Andre was on the stream last week.
Yeah. When he was like, I don't deal with it at all.
well, yeah. I mean, you said that, but it's like also like I look at people like that, and I'm just like, I want to get on their level.
Mm-hmm. How do you deal with it though?
I mean, really, it just keeps coming back to it. It's like when I see a bug or I see an exploit that I think is really creative or is really interesting in my opinion, I ask myself, how could I have found that? And that, generally means that either generally leads to a change in how I do things or adding an additional tool that I wouldn't have thought of before.
What are the main vulns that you look for? Like, do you have a set of particular vulns you look for, or do you just look for anything?
I try and focus on server-side bugs. I don't know what the best way to describe this. I feel like Andre said it better, referring back to him. It's like I'm looking to make the server do weird things or unexpected things or to cause or server side, and having a developer background, it's like I know of common pitfalls as a developer to look for.
Very cool. Let's see. Are there any questions before chat? This is your last call for questions. Have you discovered any O days? Yes, you have. Can you talk about it though? You dropped an O day at a life hacking event, didn't you? We don't have to get into it, but you literally owned something to get a bounty.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that I can talk about actually is the work I actually did with it was
the recent stuff with you and Brett, right? You guys just owed it pretty much Office LibreOffice.
Yeah, so it was actually 4 of us, and it's kind of funny actually. We actually published a whole blog post around this. LibreOffice itself is actually fairly secure, but the world around it is actually not particularly secure, and so we found a bug in a wrapper called UnicoV, where it would enable. It's on Brett's blog, I believe. Yeah, yep, that one. And then it was me, Brett, Cody, and Smeagol's. And so it was really a bug in the wraparound at UnicoV where we got a CV for that. And it enabled, the problem with it was that Unicove enabled features in LibreOffice that allowed for including of remote files, which is obviously a bad thing, or remote web addresses.
Can you tell me the story on how you guys found this on Slack?
So we were just sharing. We were sharing files through Slack, and we noticed that Slack started rendering thumbnails where we didn't expect them, and from there, we were able to gather. Actually, we sent this through as a Slack bug report. We were able to gather Slack's AWS metadata credentials. And the hardest part about that actually was trying to get the page to render correctly, because as we were trying to render this, we would only get the first 3 lines of that. So we'd see code success, but then the credentials wouldn't actually appear. So the actual exploit itself, once we noticed that they were rendering, it only took us probably 15-30 minutes to actually discover and get working. But then to get the full page to render, it took us another couple hours to understand how the file format worked.
Very cool. Yeah, Brett was going pretty crazy over this and trying to like exploit as many places as he can. I think you guys did it like to a huge company that was at a live hacking event, and then Slack and a few others, if I remember correctly. Really cool stuff.
Yeah, Slack was the only one that we got permission to share. The rest of them, we can't share, unfortunately, but the technical details are there, and that's what I find interesting, at least. But we actually put at the end of that other places that we think would be extremely interesting for research to appear. And really my biggest takeaway is that like there's a ton of companies using these, and if you find a bug in, especially in the core rendering paths of LibreOffice, it will be exploitable almost everywhere.
Very cool. Any other questions? Ash, do you want to throw your question in and I can ask it if you're still around? I always close out with Ash's question. But if there isn't any other ones, I'm going to do Ash's question. We'll wrap this up. Any websites to follow for bugs nowadays? Activity on HackerOne?
I mean, yes, but I also believe, unfortunately, that Twitter is a good source for this. Just following a handful of people on Twitter, you can really stay up to date with what's happening on the internet, and you really get a real-time feed of what they're thinking about, or what people are thinking about in the information security world.
Do you have any favorite books? Anything that's it could be hacking related, non-hacking related?
Oh, that's a tough question. I'm honestly not sure. I honestly don't think I have one. Sorry.
All good. What's your primary methodology for finding bugs in a web app? That's a loaded question. I feel like randomous, but do you have a methodology? Like, what do you go look for something particularly the first thing you do, or is it different depending on the target?
It really is different depending on the target. I'm really looking to see, more than anything else, I'm looking to see how the page or the website acts in dynamic ways. I'm really not interested in almost anything else. Like I want to see like what does this API look like? What does it do things dynamically? What happens when I start messing with it? And then I really go from there. And more often than not, I'll find myself scraping JavaScript files or looking for old JavaScript files just to discover additional endpoints.
Next question says, pizza and pineapple, yay or nay?
I am a fan of pineapple on pizza. Sorry.
And then do you have a list or like a checklist for you to do bug bounties, or is it just you have this mental checklist, or is it just whatever the website is and whatever you feel like?
It really is a mental checklist. Like if I come across an XML endpoint, there's like 20 things I'll try before I think it's secure. So it really just comes down to, I have a list of tricks that I want to try, and then I'll go in and try them all. And then worst case, I'll punt it to burp and see if it picks up anything. And, often it will that I'll miss.
And then the last thing I always ask is, what do you think about the future of the bug bounty community in the industry? What do you think it's headed to in the next 3 to 5 years?
It's a good question. I think the world is going to get better. Defense in depth is a thing that is getting better over time. But at the end of the day, there will still be new exploits and there'll be new crazy things to try. I'm convinced that, or I'd like to think that, we're doing something good. But at the end of the day, it's like folks will still put stuff online without thinking about security, which is unfortunate, but it's the world we live in. People aren't paid to make things secure.
That's a good way to put it.
And then the flip side of that, though, is that even in the biggest companies out there online today, there'll still be like IDOR vulnerabilities. They'll still be able to, or maybe best described as like business logic issues, where you're able to do things that you would need business logic enforcement to prevent, and no coding language will prevent you from doing that.
But do you think like stuff like automation could affect how bug bounties are being done or replace anybody?
No, against certain targets, yes, but everything can't be automated at the end of the day. And like a lot of these things, like that Oracle WebLogic RC that I found, it's like a scanner configured to use the default payload there wouldn't have picked up as vulnerable. You really had to know that you had to try it blind. And arguably you could write a tool that would try it blind, but I guess I'm just kind of trying to make the point that like having a set of human eyes look at things and attempt to exploit them, I feel is always helpful.
Absolutely, I agree. I don't think anything's gonna replace the human element in bug bounties, but that's just me. Well, cool. Well, thank you so much for joining me, Sam. I appreciate it. Again, this is Sam, Sam on Twitter. I have your Twitter profile in front of me. Do me a favor, go hit him with a follow. I need you to do me a favor, Sam, if you don't mind.
Yep.
I just need you to pass the torch to Brett by just dropping a tweet and saying, "Hey, at Brewer House, where are you going to be on NahamSec's stream?" Maybe he will listen to you instead of me. I don't know. I don't know why he's not listening to me. Anybody in the chat do it, more than welcome to. I'll
make sure to send him a message at a minimum.
Cool. I appreciate it. Well, thanks again, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for giving me your time, and thanks for sharing all your knowledge with us, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, and if anyone has any follow-up questions, definitely feel free to tweet at me, and I'll answer what I can.
Cool. Awesome, man. Thanks so much. We'll talk soon.
Yep. Take care.
See ya. That's it. That was Sam. Really, really cool dude. He's been an awesome dude to work with. But I want to jump off, but before I do, I want to look at how this went. I don't think any of these really... let's do reports, grep 200 less. Oh, too many now. All right. Let's do it like this then. What? Oh, it's a CD. Jeez. Cool. Wait, what's happening to my stream? Thank you for the sub. I appreciate it. Thanks for joining, Jumiru. There is like some stuff with these IP addresses, but I think a lot of these are just false positives. Let's look at these really quickly, and then I'm going to call it a night, or call it a day, whatever you want to call it. So 86. This doesn't look like it's worth looking at, but let's just try it out. And same with this one. Oh, wait. I don't know, this is not Yahoo. It says it's Yahoo, I guess, but I don't think I believe this is Yahoo at all. Nothing in here screams Yahoo, so I don't know if I want to mess with it. And the cert, I think it's been reassigned already. Playfab API. Playfabapi.com. What is this? Is this a Yahoo asset? Let's look it up really quick, because if it is, then we gotta poke it a little bit more. And it's Microsoft Corporation. Very interesting. Okay, let's keep on going. We looked at that one already. Let's look at this one. What is this? Nope, not going to touch that one. No, thank you. 86, 86, 36. I think these are all false positives because it's a bunch of different files. What is this one? Oh, DataX Online. It is a Swagger UI. And it has something on it. Which, look at that. But I do think that there isn't a whole lot on it, though. Is there a V1 we could look at? No. So it's on V2 API docs. 404. Did I hit a 403 earlier? 405. Okay. So we got to go over here. This is the last thing I'm going to look at, but let's just see. I think I've seen this before, but yeah, we have to fuzz this. I'm not fuzzing it, but let's see what's on it though. This one. Okay. What is that? Is this a domain I didn't want to look at that I opened up? Yeah, I'm not doing this. Lab Guru, who owns this? Let's just look really quick. It's labguru.com. Okay, so this one is 7.6. Hold on, let's close some of these. And let's go here. 7.6. So this one is up, and we just pulled it up, but I think that's it. That was all of them. The rest we've seen already. Anything else that's here, it's already been looked at. This is the first time I've seen actually Swagger UI come up on Yahoo. Oh, this is how it works. Cool. So, we can send this. Try it out. Test. And then we'll just put test just to see what it does. Execute. Yeah, I figured. Cool. Well, at least we know scanning all those was worth it. There's a room. I think I'm gonna put this into. There we go. Yeah, I think I'm gonna write this into doing it for search and destroy next time. Cool. That was it. I am going to log off. I appreciate everyone joining. Thank you so much, everybody that gifted subscriptions, new subscribers, new followers. Thank you all for joining me on this Sunday. This was really fun. I don't know if I'll be back online Tuesday because it's Thanksgiving week. I want to take a week off. I'm kind of burnt out on streaming, so I may take the whole week off next week. So don't forget about me next week if I don't get on. If I do get on, obviously I'll tweet about it and it'll be on Discord. So if you are new to my stream and you're still watching this before I log off, if you don't know about it, do me a favor and go right here. If you want to follow along with DigitalOcean, there's a $50 free code right there. It will help me fund this. If you want to follow us on Discord, there's really good conversations on there. Please make sure you join Discord. It helps everybody. You can ask your questions there. And of course, follow me on social media, Instagram, Twitter, and what else? Should we pop into Geohods and troll him and get banned, or I don't know if I want to do that. Might as well. Well, let's raid. I'm gonna raid Geo, and then you guys are more than welcome to hang out or just jump off. Other than that, I appreciate everyone being here. Thanks so much. Let's go and troll Geo real quick. Thank you all for joining. I'm out. Peace. Wait, I'm not out. I gotta do his name first. There we go. Let's see if it worked. You guys are asking.
Like, after we get a parser in here, we can start thinking about how like much of Lean's proof checking functionality we want to use. We're just gonna change this to list text. Oh, perfect. But we're first trying to write a parser combinator. All right, look. So now I parsed all of that, which isn't really true. Okay. Now let's go back to writing our parser. See if that works at all.